Well, Merry Christmas. Good evening. My name is Jay Thompson. I am the teaching pastor at Simply Church and excited to have you be a part of our series on the Christmas verses as we've looked at Matthew chapter 1 and 2 and Luke chapter 1 and 2, a verse going to be out of John and out of Isaiah. We started on December the 1st looking at these passages, and we've been pulling out some principles and some practices as we've gone through a couple verses each day. And so today being December the 8th, I've got a couple more verses that I want to share with you. And this one comes out of Matthew chapter 1, verses 19 through 21. And we've looked at the encounter so far that Mary had with the angel Gabriel, as Gabriel let her know about the incredible favor, act of grace that God had extended to her as she was going to be the mother of Jesus. And now we're going to see the angel's encounter with Joseph. So Matthew chapter 1, verses 19 through 21 says this. It says, Joseph, to whom she, Mary, was engaged, was a righteous man and did not want to disgrace her publicly. So remember this, that the angel had told Mary that she was going to conceive. Even though she was a virgin, she was going to conceive and have a son, and his name is going to be Jesus. So she is now pregnant. Joseph finds out. And it says this, that he was a righteous man and did not want to disgrace her publicly, so he decided to break the engagement quietly. As he considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Joseph, son of David, the angel said, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child within her was conceived by the Holy Spirit, and she will have a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. The same message that Mary got about who Jesus was going to be and who she was going to give birth to and what he was going to be called, his name, Jesus, and what he was going to do for all of humanity. The exact same message that she heard is the exact same message that the angel communicated to Joseph in a dream. So as we look at this encounter, there's a couple things I want us to think about as we look at the story of Joseph and his dream and the promise of Jesus. And the first thing is this, is it said there, it says that Joseph was a righteous man and did not want to disgrace Mary publicly. What I wrote down of a principle is this, is how we treat others in challenging moments of life reveals our true character. Think about this for just a second. Joseph is engaged to Mary. He is looking forward to an incredible life with her, all the promise of a new marriage. And then she comes and shares with him that she is pregnant, and his dreams are shattered. What do we do in those moments? What do we do in those difficult, challenging moments when something or someone has disappointed us? Well, Joseph, I love what it says this, Joseph was a righteous man. You know, it's easy to say things. It's easy to say what we believe. The challenge comes is when we have to put into practice what we believe. Joseph was a righteous man, and he demonstrated that by how he was going to deal with Mary, right? He could have publicly shamed her. He could have, done everything to make her look bad. But he said, you know what? I want to treat her, even though it is a difficult and disappointing situation for me, that he said this, I don't want to disgrace her. Okay. And so what happens? His true character in that difficult time revealed itself. He extended grace in a seemingly disgraceful situation. How we treat people in the moments of uncertainty, of disappointment, when people let us down, when situations are difficult in our life, how we treat others reveals our character. But if you go on and read this, I love what it says there. After he had decided that, it says, so he decided to break the engagement quietly. And then it uses this phrase, as he considered this. As he began to think about what he was going to do, and he made that decision not to disgrace her publicly, he was going to break off the engagement. But it says, as he considered this, you know what happened? That's when the angel came in a dream and spoke to Joseph. What does that mean for me and you today? This is what I wrote down, is that sometimes our greatest disappointments are the doors to our greatest opportunities. That night when Joseph heard that Mary was pregnant, not his son, he made the decision not to disgrace her publicly. But you know what? The disappointment of a marriage that was going to be, the disappointment of all of his future plans hit him pretty hard, I'm sure. And as he laid his head on his pillow that night to go to sleep, he began to have a dream. And in that dream, the angel spoke to him about the incredible promise of who Jesus was going to be, who the Son that Mary had conceived through the Holy Spirit was going to be. His greatest disappointment turned into an incredible opportunity. He was going to have the opportunity to be the earthly father of the Son of God. You know what? I think so many times in life when we face disappointments, we become discouraged, we begin to despair, we begin to think there's no way out. But oftentimes it is in those disappointing moments that God does something incredible, and it becomes our greatest opportunity to be used by God in a powerful way. So this Christmas, when difficulty comes, let your true character show in how you deal with other people. If you say you're a follower of Jesus, then treat people like Jesus would, even when they disappoint you. But when you face disappointments, I want to encourage you that many times those disappointments can become the opportunities for God to do something great in your life. In Joseph's great disappointment, he stepped into the role of being the earthly father of Jesus. So this Christmas, maybe we can look at some disappointments differently and see the opportunities that some of those disappointments bring in our life. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. If you have any questions about what it means to have a journey with Jesus, I'd love to connect with you. You can go to our website at simplychurch.online, fill out the Connect card, hit submit, and I'd love to follow up with you, maybe pray with you about something, answer any questions that you have, and just join you in your journey with Jesus. Listen to me, all disappointments